Hello, Liverpool fans. Welcome to the Liverpool Report, your go-to source for the latest news, match updates, and transfer stories straight from Anfield. Don't miss out on any of the action. Hit that subscribe button now and stay in the loop with all things Reds. Arneslot said Darwin Núñez was on a downer after his horror miss stalled a second-half fight back. The Reds chief said the Uruguayan couldn't hide his disappointment in the dressing room after the table toppers had to settle for a point at Villa Park. Núñez wasted the chance to fire the Merseysiders back in front, following Trent Alexander-Arnold's deflected shot, which levelled matters after Aston Villa had taken a 2-1 lead at the break. The South American managed to clip the ball over the bar from 6 yards with the goal gaping, reviving memories of another dreadful gaffe from over 3 decades ago when Ronnie Rosenthal somehow clattered an effort into the crossbar with the net at his mercy. Slot said, "If you look at the chances in the second half, there is one player in the dressing room who feels quite down. You know who it is." After a draw at Goodison Park last week and lackluster victory over Wolves, the Dutch coach was asked if he felt his team had suffered a dip in form. This point stretched the Reds' lead at the top of the Premier League table to 8 points. Ahead of Sunday's blockbuster against faltering Manchester City, Slot said he was heartened far more by this show than he was about the previous 2. He said, "In terms of performance, we weren't really at it at all, Everton, but for obvious reasons, we were unlucky to come away with a draw. I liked this performance a lot. Much more than I liked it against Wolves, playing the ball out from the back, creating chances. If you go away to Villa, that's always a difficult fixture. At the start the season, you know Villa away. That's a difficult one. Manchester City away. That's a difficult one." So, performance-wise, not a dip at all today, in my opinion. What we must not do, and we've done a bit too often now, is we don't get what we deserve. If you look at all the chances and put them in a row, from us and from them, I think it's clear which team should have won this game. We must not make a habit out of that because it's happened a bit too much now. Villa striker Ollie Watkins, who netted a header to give Villa the lead on the stroke of half-time, said it was a tough game there at the top of the league for a reason. But we have a strong record here and always make it hard for teams. Even though we went behind, we reacted well and could have nicked it at the end. Unai Emery is really demanding of us, and we haven't been performing well of late, so he will be happy with that performance. Aston Villa held Liverpool to an entertaining 2-2 draw as the Reds stretched their lead to 8 points clear at the top, but missed the chance to go 10 clear of Arsenal. The visitors took the lead when a dreadful error from Andres Garcia on his first Villa start allowed Diogo Jota to square for Mohamed Salah to fire home, before Villa dragged themselves level when Yuri Tielemans fired in after Liverpool failed to clear. Ollie Watkins then put Villa ahead as he headed home Lucas Digne's cross before the break, after which Jota struck the crossbar from range. Trent Alexander-Arnold then fired Liverpool level with a deflected effort, before Reds substitute Darwin Núñez missed a glorious chance after being found by Dominik Szoboszlai. Villa sub Doniel Malen then almost won it with the final kick. Here are the game's main talking points. From the off, what struck you about both sides was just how different they looked to how we've usually seen them. In Villa's case, that was due to personnel, with Garcia, Axel Disasi, Marco Asensio, and Marcus Rashford all in from the start, with all but Disasi making their first starts for the club. Liverpool's selections have stayed largely consistent all season in terms of the players on the pitch, but here there was a slight tweak as Salah and Jota were the only 2 recognised forwards. Arne Slot was seemingly looking for his side to take more control in the middle of the pitch through both Dominik Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, and they did that from the off as the visitors started well, but Villa would soon overcome that. One thing we know about Unai Emery is that he will never back down from a challenge, and it was as though Villa saw beating the Liverpool press as a test they had to pass in the first half. They usually did, but playing out from the back eventually cost them. Garcia passed the ball straight to Jota on the corner of his own penalty area, and the Portuguese, who otherwise looked rusty in front of goal, was always going to lay it off to Salah for the opener. and his 38th goal contribution in the Premier League this season, Cristiano Ronaldo got 37 in that stellar 2007-08 campaign. It had appeared as though Villa had just rode out the Liverpool pressure at that moment, but a key slip cost them. Ahead in the game and seeking to punish Villa's high line, you thought that this clash looked perfectly set up for Liverpool at 0-1. But a combination of their own slack play and Villa's determination saw the hosts wrestle control. Liverpool were far too reactive, both in defence and midfield, to the Villa attackers building momentum, and it was no real surprise when Tielemans fired in after several missed attempts to clear Liverpool's lines. Worse was to come for the Reds right at the end of the first half, as Digne got forward down the left and crossed expertly for Watkins to head home. Villa had applied the slightest of pressure, and it had paid off for them, with Liverpool floored. Liverpool didn't start the second half all that well, and there were a couple of occasions when Villa could have extended their lead, most notably when Rashford rounded Alisson, but couldn't finish from the range. That might have been the incident which focused Liverpool minds, and soon enough it was the visitors who wrestled control of the game, winning a succession of corners before, as they took advantage of Villa's insistence on pushing forward. They equalised when Alexander-Arnold and Salah almost insisted the ball went over the line, with the former firing in via a deflection. So a chance to go 10 points clear is lost, and now it is Arsenal who have the tantalising advantage of a game in hand. This difficult run of games was always going to present the chance for Liverpool to streak ahead, but Slot will point to just how hard these fixtures have been, with easier matches on the horizon after the meetings with Manchester City and Newcastle in the next week. The Reds are going to have to start winning consistently again soon, though, as they are losing their vice-like grip on this league. Darwin Núñez was quite down in the Liverpool dressing room after missing a golden opportunity to put the Reds ahead at Aston Villa, according to his manager, Arneslot, Uruguayan. Forward Núñez could only shoot wide of an open net when he was teed up by Dominik Szoboszlai with the score at 2-2 at Villa Park, but ultimately Liverpool had to end up settling for a draw from an entertaining contest as they extended their lead at the top to 8 points. The Reds took the lead at Villa Park when Diogo Jota fed Mohamed Salah for the opener, but Jota then missed a golden chance to restore his side's lead shortly after Youri Tielemans had equalised Ollie Watkins, then headed Villa in front in the closing stages of the first half, with Trent Alexander-Arnold firing the Reds level via a deflection. Núñez then missed a golden chance to win it when he skewed an opportunity wide of an open net, after Szoboszlai's pass across goal looked to have given him the perfect opportunity. Slot said he was happy with his side's performance in what was an open game, but he was left to rue the missed chances and the one from Núñez in particular. So you have to play the game as it unfolds. And today, we played a team that wanted to play the ball out from the back. So we had some very good moments, scored the first goal from a good pressing moment, but we took it the way the game went, and they came back in the final minute when Donyell Malen shot wide. But if you look at the chances we had in the second half to go in front, you can understand there's one person in the dressing room that feels quite down, and you know who it is, I think. Slot added that Liverpool will assess the fitness of right-back Connor Bradley, who was taken off with what appeared to be a hamstring injury. Liverpool missed the chance to open up a 10-point lead on Arsenal in the race for the Premier League crown. The Reds played out a hard-fought 2-2 draw with Aston Villa at Villa Park, but could have won the game had Darwin Núñez been able to convert a golden chance from just 6 yards out. Arne Slot's men are still in pole position ahead of the title run-in though, with the gap between them and Arsenal now at 8 points. Liverpool are also one step closer to discovering who they will face in the last 16 of the Champions League after the final round of playoff fixtures were played on Wednesday night. Virgil-van-Dijk admitted that Liverpool blew a golden chance to put some serious daylight between themselves and Arsenal at the Premier League summit. The Reds took the lead in the first half through Mohamed Salah before goals from Youri Tielemans and Ollie Watkins turned the game on its head. Trent Alexander-Arnold struck on the hour mark to restore parity for Liverpool, who had chances to win and open up a 10-point lead at the top of the table. Darwin Núñez missed a huge chance from 6 yards, and Van Dijk was the first to admit Liverpool wasted their chance to beat Villa and strengthen their position in the Premier League title race. Darwin Núñez was quite down in the Liverpool dressing room after missing a golden chance to win the game against Aston Villa, says arneslot. The Reds striker could have won the game with the scores level at 2-2, but couldn't convert from close range as both sides shared the points. And Slot admitted, "We had some very good moments, scored the first goal from a good pressing moment, but we took it the way the game went, and they came back in the final minute when Daniel Malen shot wide. But if you look at the chances we had in the second half to go in front, you can understand there's one person in the dressing room that feels quite down, and you know who it is, I think. Liverpool are a step closer to discovering their next opponents ahead of Friday's draw for the last 16 phase of the Champions League. The Reds had 4 potential opponents at the start of the week, but that has now been whittled down to just 2 following the conclusion of the second round of playoff fixtures. They will face either Paris Saint-Germain or Benfica after the former thrashed Brest 10-0 on aggregate, with the other team set to play Barcelona